Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to another awesome video, and it's time for another top 10 video. In today's top 10 list, we'll be looking at the top 10 what-if stories for Disney Plus, for the Disney Plus show. So, those who don't know, a while back at D23, or mainly at San Diego Comic-Con, we got a whole big thing about Disney Plus and all the different Marvel things that are coming and what's like to be expected for Phase 4. And one of the things that we're supposed to be expecting is Disney Plus related TV shows. So, real quick, WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, those shows. Winter Soldier and Falcon, like all those live action shows. But we're also gonna get a animated Marvel TV show called What If. So What If is kind of centered around the idea of what if concepts. So there was Marvel comics that they used to make back in the day called Marvel What Ifs. So Marvel's decided to kind of make this as a TV show, and it's gonna have like it's gonna have the Watcher kind of oversee these what if concepts. So those big guys from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And there's going to be, like, different alternate realities and different dimensions and universes of, like, what if this happened? What if that happened? One of the episodes, the first episode, has the idea of what if Peggy Carter was Captain America. Specifically, Captain Britain. I wish she would have been Captain America, but they're going with the idea of her being from Britain, so Captain America or Captain Britain. She looks like Union Jack, but still, that's pretty cool. The idea that she was the super soldier in the super soldier program, and Steve Rogers has like this Iron Man suit to him. So there's going to be all sorts of other episodes we're going to talk about throughout this video. But for this list, we're going to look at some of the ideas that I think Disney should do with the What If show. So my ideas, these are my opinions, my thoughts, my little like conspeculations, what should happen in this show. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this. So, at number 10 is what if Adam Warlock showed up in both Infinity War and Endgame? So, I bring this up because Adam Warlock is kind of like this really cool, like, the best way to paraphrase this character, he's kind of like a space Jesus almost. He's all-powerful. So, he was rumored to show up in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. He was supposed to show up in Volume 2. Well, we did see him as a credit scene, but still. He was supposed to be rumored to make a cameo in Infinity War and Endgame, but they took that out because they figured, yeah, having Warlock fight with the Avengers and then they're fighting Thanos kind of would be a little bit overpowered, and we obviously want how Infinity ended, which was Thanos kind of beating everyone up. If Warlock was there, the Avengers would have won, without a shadow of a doubt. So, it's a cool idea, it's a cool concept because it brings the idea of like, sure, this is not going to be, like, these aren't going to tie into the MCU, which makes a lot sense because you get to see maybe like an alternate version of Infinity War, hence the idea of bringing Warlock as your sort of like wild card. So, you have the idea of like, oh shit, we're all about to be basically beaten to death. And then Warlock shows up like, hey guys, my name's Warlock, and I'm gonna help you guys take down Thanos, and I've overseen this all happen, so I'm gonna save you guys. Okay, maybe not like that. But, point is, it'd be kind of cool to see a different, like, version or maybe different characters show up in the MCU movies, because this is not gonna tie into the MCU, but there are the voice actors from the MCU movies, so like the cast, like Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, those guys, they're going to voice their characters, which is going to be cool. So you kind of have like this idea of like, maybe they could take some ideas from the MCU. So, for example, they're going to have an episode involving Endgame, like an alternate thing involving Endgame. So why not do that for Infinity War? Maybe have different characters show up. Like maybe we'll see, I don't know, maybe we'll see Silver Surfer. Maybe we would see Adam Warlock. Maybe see other characters that didn't appear in Infinity War that were supposed to. Maybe Beta Ray Bill. Anyways, I think it'd be kind of cool, and it would be awesome to see Adam Warlock, no matter what. That's just my opinion because Adam Warlock's just plain awesome. Number 9, if Dr. Fate was a disciple of Dormammu. So, Doctor Strange obviously being the Sorcerer Supreme, Dormammu being that big bad villain that he kept basically saying, Dormammu, I've come to bargain, it's been memed to death and everything. That big guy. Yeah, that main big baddie we saw sort of like towards the end of the movie. If Doctor Strange was a disciple of Dormammu. And there was already a comic book kind of with this idea of if Doctor Strange was basically kind of evil, if he was like basically if he went towards the dark side. So basically think of so I know a lot of people don't remember the villain's name from Doctor Strange, but he was basically a follower and a disciple of Dormammu. Think of what would happen if that guy wasn't that guy. Like think if Doctor Strange was basically in that guy's like shoes and summoned Dormammu and became evil and corrupt by dark magic in the dark dimension. How kind of twisted that would be. And this could bring in an alternate like reality, especially if we're gonna see like maybe a little bit of teases and stuff like that in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. So definitely an interesting concept, and we're gonna definitely bring some MCU concepts into this what if story because that's what this animated show is doing, but not creating so much like crazy continuity to the whole MCU cinematic universe. That's creating this sort of alternate universe. So I think this would be a great alternate idea, especially I think some really cool designs of how Doctor Strange could look, very evil, not just the sort of like those weird like space like dark eyes that he had, but still I think it'd be cool. Number 8, what if Quicksilver survived? So there's a whole big theory a while back, I think it was during Civil War, I don't remember when, but people are thinking, what if Quicksilver didn't get shot in Age of Ultron? The whole like, oh, he didn't die, or whether he survived that bullet, or maybe something else where now there's another Quicksilver, or they'll be like, wait, I thought you were dead, and then they're like, no, he's alive. I think this kind of brings up an interesting idea because seeing how maybe whether the different ideas you can kind of do with Quicksilver. Like, let's say for Civil War, if Quicksilver didn't die in in Age of Ultron, whose team would he even be on for, say, Civil War? Would he be with Team Cap? Would he actually agree with Tony Stark? Would he actually be on Team Iron Man? Basically rival out his sister? That's kind of cool. Would he be on the same team as Cap? Who knows? We don't quite know. Would he be off doing something else? Who knows what this could possibly bring? And I think, honestly, this could also go with the idea of bringing in the X-Men, because obviously Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are technically X-Men characters, but they were able to be part of the Avengers, which is obviously that was a whole different deal. But making Quicksilver maybe the key to bringing the X-Men, whether it's like maybe like basically making Quicksilver the Flash of this MCU, which would be excellent, I think. I know a little bit. So somehow making him the key to bring in maybe the X-Men, maybe there's somehow introducing something. I don't know. If we weren't gonna get Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I thought of the idea of Quicksilver maybe creates like breaches throughout the multiverse of the Marvel universe, kind of like what Flash did in a way. So I think that would have been great. But whatever they do, I think there should be an episode, maybe even a cameo or something along the lines of Quicksilver surviving, because we're not going to get Aaron Taylor Johnson back, so might as well bring him have him voice his character in an episode or two. Make things happy. Number 7, right here. Marvel Zombies. So I know Marvel Zombies is already being teased for the whole big what if story, but that's what I really like, because this was a really darker like alternate universe where basically all the dead characters that were dead, whether in the Marvel comics or heck, if we're drawing from the MCU movies, how many characters have died in the MCU, and bring those guys back as zombies would be kind of almost like a horrifying image. Like if you thought the whole Mysterio illusion that he put with Iron Man as like a skeleton, like zombie looking guy showing up in there was eerie. Think of the idea of like you have not just Iron Man, but you have Captain America, you have let's say maybe if we're gonna draw from both comics and the MCU, you bring back maybe Yondu, maybe you have like a zombie Thanos. All these zombies, doesn't matter if they're good or evil, just start trying to wipe out all the human population. Think of this. I think this would be really cool as an episode, because I know they're gonna do this as a what if episode. They've already confirmed it. There's even a teaser with Bucky like ready to just shoot down zombie Captain America. Looks so cool. So I think what would be really cool if they make the episode kind of like as if it was like, let's say, World War Z meets like the Avengers. I think that would be really interesting of an idea. I think that sounds really cool, really creepy, dark, and it's fun. Number 6. What if the Avengers never assembled? I know it sounds crazy, and obviously it wouldn't make any sense, but this would be a great comic to kind of like, because this was a comic book, obviously all these what if ideas were established as comics at one point. So I think this one could play a key point in the what if, because you could establish like a what if universe of what if we didn't get the Avengers? How would Earth survive without our Earth's mightiest heroes? How things would have went different during the Battle of New York or Sokovia, or even like would Thanos had ruled the universe already by now? Who knows? That's kind of, it's interesting. It's not only seeing the villains sort of like but seeing how if the villains kind of won, like let's say Loki was able to invade Earth easily. Like he killed Thor and he invades Earth easily. There's no Avengers. So how would Earth sort of try and do this? Would there be other heroes trying to basically rise and try and fight against our villains? Would there be like, let's say we can take it to an even lower level by maybe having like us like regular human beings trying to defend ourselves, like maybe just regular humans doing a regular thing, and somehow maybe we win or we lose. This kind of draws different ideas, and I kind of think this could be a bit smart. One thing could be interesting is this could kind of be like how if the Avengers never existed, because that's like, I remember this was like an Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes episode. If you guys remember that show, please say so, because I love that show so much. That was one of my favorite Marvel cartoons. But they had an idea of if the Avengers were wiped out, would there be other heroes? Like maybe we'd see the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, or maybe would we still see Spider-Man? Would we still have the Guardians of the Galaxy? Would we still have Ant-Man, the Defenders? Would we have any of these guys still? Who knows? And I think this would be really, really interesting to dive into. All right, we're nearing down our final 5 on my list. And at number 5 is what if Yondu left StarLord with Ego? So in Guardians, the first 2 movies, we know that for a fact that Yondu picked up StarLord. Well, not actually, he didn't pick him up. Ego left StarLord with Yondu and kind of basically adopted him or raised him a little bit. What if Yondu left him with Ego? How much of a different type of character StarLord would be? How much would that change him in a way? If he was left with his dad, would he still have these fond father moments that he did in Volume 2, like with the 2 of them catching the little like space ball or whatever? Would it be like this fun father-son bonding, or would it be this sort of like scheme of Ego basically turning Quill over to his side and making him not necessarily a villain, but kind of turning him into a not so great of a guy, and having would Ego have his own son, find him more women, and basically bring him back to his planet and do what Ego was going to basically create and have this whole universe of himself or something like that? I don't know. But it sounds very weird. It sounds disturbing, but I think this kind of is interesting, and plus I saw someone like on a website like list some ideas, and I took that idea. I was like, that's kind of interesting. Yondu left StarLord with Ego. Like, how much of that would be different? So, and plus, would StarLord even be a Guardian of the Galaxy member still, or would he just now be like a new like being in the universe that wants to rule the galaxy or rule the universe just like his dad? Would StarLord kill his own dad? Would Ego kill StarLord if he didn't need him? What would be sort of like the outcomes of this? definitely really appeals me a little bit. And plus to kind of see a Guardians of the Galaxy what if episode sounds interesting. Am I not wrong? So, anyways, number 4. What if Killmonger killed T'Challa? Now I know technically in the Black Panther movie he did kill T'Challa, but what if he remained dead? Now I know there's gonna be an episode where what if T'Challa was StarLord, and it's a weird idea, but I do like it in a way. I don't understand where the connection is, or why make the Prince of Wakanda, I was about to say for a second, Wakanda, this outlaw like StarLord. I don't know how that would work. I don't see it, but the designs are really cool. The concept art's amazing. The animation looks awesome. Like, I love the purple like outfit he's got going on, the trench coat, the sort of advanced technology he's got. This sounds like a really interesting concept. I think this could. I don't know if this could tie in I don't know if my what if episode could tie into this episode or not. But I do like the idea of what if Killmonger kind of killed T'Challa like he did in Black Panther, but the idea of the rest of Wakanda wouldn't be able to resurrect Black Panther. How Killmonger's ruling, like basically revolution, be different compared to how the Black Panther ruled as king. How would Killmonger do this differently? And I think this could play into the what if episode they have for Black Panther being StarLord, because let's say this as let's say, I'm just speculating right now. Let's say T'Challa is StarLord. So if that's the case in this episode, that means that T'Challa is not the prince of any planet, any galaxy, or anything like that. He's an outlaw, okay? He's just going around. He's like a Ravager, like Yondu, and all this other stuff. What if in this sort of episode, Killmonger is king of, say, Xandar? Or maybe he's king of a galaxy, or he's king of a universe. How interesting that would be to bring Killmonger to, like, this galaxy level. Because since we're doing that Black Panther, how dope would that look with Killmonger? I swear it would be so much cooler. And plus, the idea, because the cast on IMDb has Chadwick Boseman, Michael Rooker, and Michael B. Jordan. So it sounds like Michael B. Jordan could come back as Killmonger, which is really cool. And it sounds like Michael Rooker, who is Yondu, is going to be Yondu. So there's going to be an episode involving Yondu, whether it's this concept with StarLord being, Black Panther being StarLord, or maybe there might be an episode where Yondu decides, you know what, I'm gonna leave this ratty bratty kid with his jackass of a father. So yeah, either way, Yondu's gonna have to do something in one of these episodes, and I think this could be teasing one of my ideas. But Killmonger being king of a galaxy sounds cool, but I think the other version of my idea sounds better. The fact of Killmonger killed T'Challa, and T'Challa can't be resurrected. How different Infinity War would be. The threat of Killmonger and the threat of Wakanda. The idea of now Killmonger's turned Wakanda into, like, terrorists, maybe. Who knows? Kind of eerie, but kind of like gives the idea of what if Killmonger won. Because people were on the idea of Killmonger was right a little bit, and in his ideals a little bit, he kind of had some aspects that you kind of went, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a point. It's shady, but kind of a point. So how much things would be if T'Challa remained dead and then Killmonger was still king? Alright, enough about Killmonger. Number 3, what if Howard Stark was Iron Man? This has always been a really interesting one for some reason, but then again, all these are interesting. But then again, all these are interesting to me because I like what if concepts. I like multiverse ideas and saying like, oh, what if the Avengers were evil, or what if like this happened, that happened, if this didn't happen, all these other things. I like that, and that's what I love about DC's multiverse. And if this is Marvel opening up their multiverse, think of the possibilities, and this could be one of them because not only is this the idea of like, oh, what if they kind of did this like how DC did theirs? Because, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne in DC Universe, Bruce Wayne in one universe is dead, and Thomas Wayne, his father, is Batman, and Martha is Joker. So maybe, sure, that could tie into that idea, like maybe like, oh, Tony Stark died at a young age, Howard Stark is still alive in the 21st century, and he becomes Iron Man. I think that'd be cool. Heck, you could have him maybe like back in World War II, making like the big Mark I armor, and that's our first initial idea of Iron Man in that what if universe was not Tony Stark, but Howard Stark. Whether Tony is alive or not is a different story. But I like the concept of making like his thought, like seeing more of like Howard a little bit, and seeing like would he be how his son is? Would he do anything different? Because Tony has always said he always feels like he was like his dad a lot. Would he be exactly? What actions would he do different? Would Howard Stark's Iron Man be a little more kill, like more like vigilant, or would it be sort of how Tony is? Definitely a little bit of an idea. Maybe developing like Marvel's own Flashpoint would be cool. Maybe kind of tying into the idea of Quicksilver surviving. Maybe creating this Marvel version of Flashpoint where like, oh, instead of Tony Stark being Iron Man, Howard Stark's Iron Man. Possibilities, maybe? I'm not saying Marvel should copy DC, but the multiverse, you can definitely open up a lot of ideas, whether they've been done before or these are original ideas. And most of these are original, but this is the one that I think should really happen if they are to maybe take something that's already been done before. So, and even if this is, even if it's not a Marvel Flashpoint, I like this no matter what. Because you would have, would Howard Stark be the Avengers? Would this be like a what if cinematic, like what if like universe where we have like the Avengers consist of, let's say, Howard Stark, Iron Man, and Peggy Carter's Captain Britain, and let's say Black Panther, T'Challa's StarLord, and Winter Soldier, and one of the villains would be like zombie Captain America or Killmonger. Like, this kind of sounds pretty cool. I'm really excited for this. So that's why I'm really going into these ideas, and I'm stretching out as much as I can with each one I have. But anyways, number 2. What if Captain America was a Hydra soldier? So this could play in many ideas, because we saw that we got like a little bit of a joke teased in Endgame with Captain America saying "Hail Hydra" to Crossbones and to that one Hydra dude. So kind of like, oh shit, okay, everything's all good. All right, sure. And sure, that was a joke. But what if that actually happened? What if back in, let's say, the 40s, Red Skull did get a hold of the Super Soldier Serum, and Captain America became Captain Hydra, I guess? Sure? I don't know. But even if that doesn't happen, you could still like make this a really cool idea, because sure, it's like turning like that whole concept of you see yourself long enough, maybe you're a hero that lives long enough to see yourself become the villain, and sometimes that's done interesting, that's sometimes not done so interesting. It depends on which movie you talk about. If you're talking about something like The Dark Knight, then yeah, that's a really great idea, and that was a really well executed arc of you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And then there's Transformers, which did that horribly. Okay, so let's just not talk about Transformers. The live action movies. The anime movie was awesome. Let's not talk about live action, especially 2, 4, and 5. So yeah. Anyways. So that idea could be done right. And especially, this could be like maybe you can have like references or little Easter eggs to possibly not Secret Wars, the Secret Empire. You could have this maybe be a tease of maybe the What If universe doing a Secret Empire, which was a big novel involving like if Red Skull took the Tesseract and altered reality. So he altered reality where Captain America, our big like Boy Scout, was all along a Hydra agent and he kind of like rose to like basically be like almost like their Darth Vader, where he was like the big like honcho, all powerful and like very evil and almost like turned to the dark side sort of situation arc a little bit. Could be interesting, and like I said, I like what if concepts, even if these are not ones you guys don't like. These are the ones I kind of like to see, and especially since this is gonna be a cartoon series, so most likely they're gonna do some ideas like what if our Avengers were evil and this happened and that happened, and those other things. So, but then again, I think this cartoon series could be handled very well for all aspects of like demographics, because that's how I like to view animation. Is I think it's great for not just kids, but it's great for adults. It's great for young adults. It's great for the whole age, and it should have everything. It should have everything for everyone, if that makes sense. So, yeah. All right, but before I unveil my number one pick, and I'm really excited about my number one pick because I have so many ideas and how like facts and explanation on where this one could go. But before I get to my number one pick, here are a few quick honorable mentions. So what if Venom possessed Punisher? This was a really dark and really badass comic book with Venom basically being the symbiote, and instead of going to Spider-Man, he went to Punisher. How awesome would that be? How violent would that be? How like really cool would that be? You could have maybe Tom Hardy voice Venom, like voice the symbiote, and you could have John Bernthal voice Punisher. How epic would that be? And just how gory that would be. The two of them just blowing up the entire, like almost not universe, but basically blowing up and killing bad guys left and right. Almost creating like this anti-hero, like almost a villain. Not really a villain, but more like an anti-hero. Because both are obviously anti-heroes. If Silver Surfer showed up in Infinity War, I think this would be cool because not only would have teased the Fantastic Four and maybe tease Galactus, but since we didn't get that in Infinity War, which is fine, I still love Infinity War for what it is. Still one of my favorite movies of 2018. Still probably one of my favorite MCU movies nowadays. But to bring like different characters into different universe, like into different like alternate universes would be cool. So like expanding upon it, let's expand upon this idea. It doesn't have to be just Infinity War. Like let's say what if the X-Men were in Civil War? What if the Defenders were in Civil War? What if Daredevil was in Spider-Man Homecoming? Like bring some different ideas, like bring some different characters. Since they're gonna borrow some MCU movies, let's take like characters that maybe were supposed to show up in said movies, or maybe didn't show up in said movies, and people are like, oh, this guy would have been cool to see. Have that character show up in the episode, and like basically work him into the plot, or maybe do a different plot. What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? I know this is nowhere near the MCU, but I think this would be cool because Spider-Man being obviously a very great character, and to see him in a part of the Fantastic Four was in the comics, maybe turning this into Future Foundation Spider-Man. So kind of sounds fun, you know. I don't know how he really replaced in the Fantastic Four, but it was kind of fun, and I like the Future Foundation suit, nice white and black suit. What if Captain Marvel was a Skrull? So I had a little speculation when Captain Marvel was coming out. Before the movie came out, I was thinking to myself, I noticed she was wearing green. I was thinking to myself, like, is she a Skrull? Because usually she wears red. And I thought, wait, she's wearing green. Does this mean, like, this is a Skrull? Okay, that didn't happen, nonetheless. But I think, let's be real, people, I think that would be that would make Brie Larson's Captain Marvel a lot more interesting of a character if she was a Skrull all along. Because, let's face it, not a lot of people are really on board with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. So to make her a Skrull kind of would be cool. Sure, it'd be our first female character that, oh shit, like our first or second female character that we've seen in the Marvel Universe be, like, introduced somehow, and next you know, oh shit, she's a Skrull. That was kind of weird. But I mean, it'd be kind of be better than it'd be a better Captain Marvel movie than what we got in Captain Marvel. Let's be honest about that. Number one, and number two, you could have a different Captain Marvel. Like, say Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is a Skrull. Now you could have, like, let's say the real Captain Marvel is, say, Charlize Theron, or I don't know. That's the only person I can think of, Charlize Theron, because people are like, yeah, Charlize Theron for Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson kind of iffy. So, yeah. What if Uncle Ben didn't die? How much of an impact that would kind of be if Uncle Ben didn't die? Would Spider-Man still be the same Spider-Man as we know him for? With the great power comes great responsibility. This could maybe bring into the idea of not only the comic that they could base this off of, but also maybe base this off the other Spider-Man What If comic of if he kind of did some shady things, like instead of using his power for responsibilities, he's used it for fame and glory. Because there's a comic where he kind of used it for fame and glory and became, whatchamacallit, like a famous, like, star in a way, and using it for, like, a TV show or some sort of broadcast he did. So it kind of could be funny, but I think most likely this could be, like, a little bit of an interesting arc, because, like I said, how would this affect Peter now? Would we see, like, would he still be Spider-Man as he is? Would Uncle Ben mentor him? Like, who knows? What if Hulk became Grey Hulk? So we saw in Endgame that Hulk has now become Smart Hulk. He's both Bruce Banner and Hulk, sort of in one sort of body and mind and everything. But people are thinking the idea of, what if this idea was creating the concept of, like, multiple Hulks being out there? So not only will we have Red Hulk, but what if Hulk turned into Grey Hulk? Or what if Hulk created Grey Hulk after this? Maybe because of his new sort of thing, we could have the establishment of Grey Hulk and Mr. Fix-It and Smart Hulk and stuff like that. What if Wolverine was in the MCU? I think it'd just be really awesome. Doesn't matter if it was gonna be Hugh Jackman, Tom Hardy, Scott Eastwood, whoever it was gonna be, if they were gonna put Wolverine in the MCU, I still think it would be really cool. And like I said, this could work to many situations. What if the X-Men were in Infinity War? What if they were in Endgame? What if they showed up in Civil War? What if they showed up in, let's say, Iron Man or the first Avengers? Creating maybe, since we're not gonna get the X-Men anytime soon, what if Marvel's What If TV show creates their own episode of, like, involving the Avengers versus X-Men? How much of a great arc that would be, and how much a great, like, that'd be awesome to see a novel turn into at least a show episode, and hopefully influencing or inspiring or foreshadowing a MCU event. Alright, give me 1 second. I think that's all of them? Yeah, that's all of them. But my number one pick, my top 10 what if stories for the Disney Plus What If show is what if Loki lifted Thor's hammer, Mjolnir? So I think this would be the best thing out of all these ideas, because for many reasons. One, in Thor: The Dark World, I know it's the worst MCU movie out of the MCU movies, but there was a deleted scene in Thor: The Dark World where Loki shows up in a red cape and he holds up Thor's hammer, and everyone's like, yes, huzzah, the great Loki's here, and all this other stuff and whatnot, and he's, like, happy about it, and he's thrilled, and his mother says something to him and goes, hey, Loki, you do know this isn't real, right? And he says, well, at least I'm happy. She goes, well, how do I put this lightly to you? Your illusions aren't going to make you happy. And he goes, what does it matter to you, really? Okay, maybe the dialogue doesn't really matter what just happened, and sure, it's a lot more deeper than I just explained it, but not only the idea was that he clouded he clouds reality, but the fact that Thor, the fact that Loki wants to be worthy of Thor's hammer could be teasing something bigger. So that's one. Two, it's a really cool comic series. Not comic series, but what if comic. Because most of these are what if comics. I think there's like, actually there's 1, 2, 3. Give me one quick second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of these I've mentioned, whether on my list or on my honorable mentions, were already Marvel comics of what ifs. So that's 2 right there. Anyways, so they already have a comic there. It's kind of interesting to make sort of like give not this character like his own hero arc, because in a way Loki is one of the best MCU villains, and the one thing we can sort of sympathize with him is not only is like how not relatable it is, but kind of a way he's got some sympathy. The fact that he kind of was supposed to be the worthy one, but he didn't get that chance. He was basically in line for the throne, but he lost it to someone else, which kind of beats whatever stuff. But I think this would be cool. And the third thing is that when you look at the IMDb cast, and I know this is going to be an episode. I know for a fact this is going to be an episode, because you look at the cast for What If. You have like, okay, you got I said Haley Atwell for Peggy Carter, so that was for the whole Captain Britain episode. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Michael Rooker. I think there was like Sean Gunn and a few other actors for Guardians of the Galaxy. So something with the Guardians of the Galaxy episode, most likely the StarLord Black Panther episode. But then I looked at the cast again. I think there was Karen Gillan, so there's a Green Nebula, there's gonna be Josh Brolin, there's gonna be Thanos, so maybe there's gonna be something with Endgame. I think there's Chris Evans on there. I'm not sure. I know Sebastian Stan's on there because of Winter Soldier. But then I looked at the cast, and then I saw there was both Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston. So there has to be an episode with Thor and Loki. And what other better opportunity to do an episode with these two guys involving a Thor arc, or just in general, is if Loki was worthy of Mjolnir. I think that could be really awesome for every reason, because I feel like some people are out there that like, yeah, Loki kind of deserves this sort of opportunity. And it would have been really cool to have that deleted scene in Thor: Dark World. And so here's the opportunity of having that idea in this episode. And those right there are these what if stories I'd like to see for Disney Plus. So hopefully we'll see if these will actually happen. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. What are some what if ideas you want to see with this new show that's coming out? And it's coming out actually next year. Not next year. Well, technically next year. So 2021. Look out for Marvel's What Ifs on 2021. And I'm not sponsored by these guys. I'm not sponsored by Marvel whatsoever. Is this a product placement? No. I'm being weird. Don't judge. Don't get scared. It's all good. So, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on like what should show up in this episode, in this TV series? Are there any ideas you guys want to see? What do you guys think of this cartoon animated series? Do you like the fact it's gonna be an animated show? Do you think this should happen in the should this be like a live action show instead? Let me know some thoughts on it. Let me know some suggestions and whatnot. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, if not every week. On top of that, make sure you ring that bell to be notified of new videos, new content every day, if not every week. And as always, make sure you leave some questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for, let's say, any videos, like let's say reviews, top 10s, games, comic reviews. I'm gonna do comic reviews, maybe vlogs. Anything else I should do differently, maybe a Q&A, like let me know some questions, maybe live streams, also the different ideas I'm going to try out here on the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed your New Year's Eve, your New Year's Day. Hope you guys had a Happy New Year, because now we're in the new year of 2020. Look out for things involving my most anticipated movies of 2020. whether that's uploaded before this video or after this video. We'll see what happens, but hope you guys enjoyed your Happy New Year. Look out for like all sorts of things coming your way. Any suggestions, like I said, once again, for videos, because I will take suggestions and requests of anything whatsoever. Just let me know. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.